Hi and welcome to my brand new channel, Back to Roots Baking with Abby. I am here to essentially try and help you make as many sweets and treats and tasty desserts as you like. I started off by making personalised fondant topped biscuits. I started just giving them away to friends and family whenever I felt like in the mood to bake and make things, and it just turned into a bit of a hobby that I decided to try and pursue and grow, and so far it's going really well. I have a Instagram which is Think Biscuits, which is where I essentially just sell my personalised biscuits. I'll pop the link to the Instagram page below, and then it sort of expanded to making desserts for whenever we had friends over, for dinners, celebrations. I've always enjoyed eating sweets and treats, so making them and seeing other people enjoy them just brings me so much happiness. And I think it's much more simple and straightforward than people think it is to make something that looks super impressive. It doesn't cost a fortune. I buy all of my ingredients locally from supermarkets or Asda, Lidl, Aldi. I buy cookie decorations, cookie cutters, etc. from Home Bargains, B&M, Poundland. So everything is absolutely affordable and so easy for you to do at home. I'm going to try and show you all just how easy it can be to make gifts for friends when they're feeling down, or to help celebrate events that within your family. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm here to do. What we're going to do is we're going to start off today by making just a really simple biscuit recipe. It works for me. It's consistently worked for me. I think that some biscuits have a tendency to spread a little in the oven. These are, without question, the best recipe I found for no spread biscuits. They still hold a nice amount of softness, still got a nice amount of crunch. And yeah, they work really well for me. Really simple, easy to do. And so we'll get straight into it. Okay, so I am using a Smeg kitchen mixer. You can use your hands if you really want to, just a whisk. You can use a freestanding mixer, a hand mixer, whatever really works for you. Obviously a kitchen mixer is much easier, but whatever you've got to hand, it really doesn't matter. So first you need 200 grams of caster sugar. You can use golden caster sugar. I have used it. It does give a different colour, but it doesn't affect, really, for me, flavour or texture. So I tend to just use normal, bog standard caster sugar. So if you weigh out your 200 grams, and then equal quantities of salted, room temperature softened butter. Now, like everyone, I get to making my biscuits and I've forgotten to take my butter out of the fridge. It's okay, you can do it, just cut your cubes smaller, well, as small as you possibly can. They will eventually soften with the beater. There's no problem with it being straight out of the fridge. It just makes life a little bit harder. So equal quantities of sugar and butter. Pop your bowl onto your stand mixer and turn on. Whisk. You want a nice medium speed, nothing too crazy. Just leave it alone. Let it mix until the butter and the sugar have gone a nice pale, fluffy, light colour. Excuse my dog barking in the background. whilst that's mixing, move on to weighing out your plain flour. Here you need 410 grams of plain flour. It looks like a lot of flour. It is a lot of flour. I've tried it with less, I've tried it with more. This is the right amount. So as you can see, the butter and the sugar has paled nicely. It's nice and fluffy. So crack in your egg straight in. Don't need to mix it. You can do, but it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. Turn your mixer back on and just make sure that that egg incorporates before you start adding your flour. I would suggest that you add your flour spoonful by spoonful. It is a little bit time consuming, but it stops it making a massive mess in your kitchen by creating a big cloud. I turn my mixer down a couple of speeds just so it doesn't fly everywhere, and just continue to put your flour in until it is fully incorporated. Okay, now all the flour's in. You can see from my mixer here that it's all coming together. It will start to feel a little bit tough. The mixer will work harder, but it will all eventually come together. It can be a little bit sticky. Get everything you can off the beater, get it all in the bowl. You can use your spatula to get bits off. I always use my fingers, it's easier. You'll need to flour your surface. Make sure you get all your bits and pieces out of your bowl. Scrape off around the sides. Doesn't matter if there's loose bits of flour. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of butter that hasn't mixed properly. It will all come together in the next section where you're just kneading slightly on the bench. So I just grab a spoonful of plain flour. You can use one of those dusters, which I have got, but I don't use it so often. You can use a silica mat. I go back and forth between using one. When I'm cutting, I definitely use one. If I'm just making to store, then no, I would just knead it on the bench. This is very minimal work now. It's not anything like a bread recipe where you have to knead for 5 minutes or anything like that. Just bring it all together using the flour from the bench to take away the stickiness. You can freeze this and use it at a later date. Just take it out of the freezer, bring it up to room temperature. This will keep in the fridge. Doesn't require any cooling, but you can do. So keep kneading, keep taking all your flour from the work surface, incorporate it all, work it in. Not real high pressure, nice and gentle, no real strength needed. And just continue to work until it's no longer sticky on your hands, sticky on the workbench, and form it into a nice little dome. Now at this point, as I say, you can pop it in the fridge You can pop it in the freezer. Make sure you wrap it in cling film if you're going to pop it in the freezer. Nice and tightly, maybe double, maybe even triple layered cling film. But you can also use it now straight away, roll it out and cut your cookies as desired. And there you go. There's a very simple no spread biscuit recipe.